Arsenal are looking good. Another win for them. In fact, if you actually look at it, since that loss to Manchester City, it's been 6 straight league wins and 19 goals scored. But it does have to be said that tougher tests lie ahead. Now, next up for them is Liverpool, and they've still got to go and face Manchester City and Newcastle. And when you look at what's ahead for Arsenal and for Manchester City, Arsenal do have a tougher run in, it's fair to say, with a thinner squad, but they do only have the league to focus on. Is that what's going to help them here?
Look, Arsenal are ready to win this. The one problem that they have is that, Manchester City playing the way we saw them against Liverpool are just unplayable. They're just a much better team. They simply are. And that's a big problem. Liverpool has had that problem in a couple of seasons as well. I mean, they came close, that famous season with 1 point, what was it, 98, 97, whatever it was, right? It came close, but Manchester City can't be like that. And we saw the best version of Manchester City against Liverpool. And I just have a feeling that, as close as I am to giving it to Arsenal, I think everybody is. Everybody understands that this team is a little bit on a mission. I think they're ready. They've proven it. They've showed character. So there's no question in my mind that Arsenal are capable. It's just that we all know that Manchester City are just at a whole different level when everything goes their way. And that's why I and everybody else are reluctant to give it to Arsenal. It's going to be a great race. It's as simple as that. It's not that we're sitting on the fence and we don't want to say that Arsenal are going to win it or Manchester City. We all know in the past 6-7 years under Pep Guardiola that this Manchester City is just a different level. It doesn't seem that way when you look at the table, but they are. And we know that there's a reserve that nobody in this league can match.
But we saw the first Premier League goals for Gabriel Jesus since October. Does he take Arsenal to an even further level up?
Yeah, we've been saying, when he was gone, I think Arsenal has done a tremendous job without him. I mean, Nketiah and everybody else had pitched in, but look at that. I mean, I look at that, I don't know, I think it was his second goal for 3-0, where he kind of, he played Trossard through and, it was a 1-2, he followed through, blind pass, and he puts it away. His mobility, his movement is very, very good. I mean, I think if you Gabriel Jesus, you got to be thinking, I am at a perfect place. This is me. This team is for me. The manager absolutely believes in me. And look, he comes back after a long layoff and makes an incredible difference in this team already. So, yeah, I mean, you look at that team again, started not necessarily well, scored maybe against the run of play against a different Leeds team, right? If you look at them under Javi Gracia, much more defensive, not pressing as much. I actually think that they've rested a couple players because they have some big matches coming up against Forest, I think, and Crystal Palace. And they knew this was always going to be difficult. But throughout it, if you watch the first 20, 25 minutes, the way Arsenal played, it didn't look great, lacked energy. But yet I knew just patience. Eventually it's going to come. And this is what's important about Arsenal, that there were times in the last 2 or 3 years where you knew it's never going to come, right? If the energy is not there at home, you'd say to yourself, it's one of those nights, the Leeds will find a way, or, put any other team in that. That's why Arsenal are superb this season.
So tell me, this week, will Arsenal hold on?
No, I'm not saying that. Look, simple as that. If Manchester City play like they played against Liverpool, the answer is no. Manchester City will find a way. But it's going to be fascinating, and that's what we love about Premier League, because...
But hang on, but yet what have Manchester City play, if they play like that even every week, got to do with Arsenal holding on?
Because I think that Arsenal is still capable of dropping points. And if Manchester City go on the run, we've seen those runs and we've been waiting. It hasn't been one of those where they've gone 10, 11, 12, 13. But I can see right now, I look at this Manchester City, with or without Erling Haaland. See, the thing is, they're not necessarily dependent on one player, are they, Manchester City? I mean, they can beat you every which way, even if 3 or 4 are missing. And right now, I look at, okay, Haaland, because I don't want to take anything away from him, 42 goals in all competitions, right? I mean, incredible. He may be the reason that they win Premier League and Champions League, right? But if he's not there, 0 issues. I mean, you're not even talking about, oh my goodness, Erling Haaland is not there. Grealish finally showing how good he is. De Bruyne finally playing well. We can go on and on and on and on. So what I'm saying is, because I do think that Manchester City will beat Arsenal at home, and it's going to be a fight. So yeah, I'm not ready, and I shouldn't be ready because this is great. I mean, it's great. The fact that I can't tell you honestly who's going to win it, it's great for this, because how many seasons have we had where Manchester City were already winners, or in the past where it was a 1 or 2 team league, right? We can't tell. And this is good for both Manchester City and for Arsenal, because I have faith in both. I can see, as I said, Arsenal are ready to win this league. They've proven it to me that they're good enough to be the champions in this league. But yet you have this team in Manchester City where you just can't say, in a definitive way. So that's me sitting on the fence.
Okay, but you did just use then as one of your answers for City doing this, that they're not as dependent, they're not over dependent on certain players. So who do you think that Arsenal are too dependent on?
That's a good point, and I was hoping that you weren't going to ask me, because Arsenal are like that, aren't they? Right? And I don't have a way out now. It's, I thought I was smart enough until of course UK. Why did you pick up on that? Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. Yeah, Arsenal don't seem to be dependent on one player as well. And maybe that, even though I didn't think this through, I mean, I did think this through, maybe that's why I think that both can win it.
There's a fence, Janusz, and I think you're not quite off it yet.
No, see, that I don't agree with that, Kay. I don't agree. Look, it's not even a question of me saying one and then backpedaling. It's just the truth. I mean, how can you definitively say that Arsenal or Manchester City are going to win it? I just don't get it. I don't get the argument. In fact, if I had to, and I kind of hinted at that, I said Manchester City, because in terms of the way they play and depth, I mean, Arsenal are not there. And you can't argue that, because they play with 14 players. If they had the squad and the quality of Manchester City, and they were in a position that they are right now, yeah, I'd be saying Arsenal, no questions asked, but they're not.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.